I was not able to print out a copy of the sheet, but I copied it over from the screen, and I did get a calculator. So we're going to do some of these. Let's try the evenly numbered problems for the first set. They want us to express the answers in degrees, and the directions do say round to the nearest hundredth. So I want to make sure the calculator's in degree mode. I don't know if you can see. There's a little DEG right there. So we're in degree mode. Let's try the evenly numbered problems. So number 34, inverse tangent. Just going to go to the calculator. Thankfully it's turned on, it's in degree mode. Second, tangent, which should say right there it's going to find the inverse tangent of. And that would be inverse tangent of 0.5893. Just a habit to close the parentheses and then enter. So that should be about 30.51 degrees to the nearest hundredth. I hope your calculator's working, coming up with the same answers. If you are doing it on your phone, many of the phone calculators are not scientific, so you have to do a reverse entry process. You have to enter the 0.5893 first, and then ask it for inverse tangent. I don't know if it does inverse tangent on the phone. Okay, then down here, number 36, arcsine. Well, for this, you have to know that arcsine means find the angle with this sine value. In other words, do inverse sine. So clearing out the last one, which I thought I was doing. So we will try inverse sine. Second sine of negative 0.6821 and just type it in. Which I hope to do correctly. I'm not that good at it. Doing things correctly, I mean. And it's telling us it's negative 43 degrees. Negative 43 would round off to 0.05. If I typed it incorrectly. I didn't type it incorrectly. Daggone it. Let me try again. So arcsine is inverse sine of negative 0.6821. Because I typed in a 7 last time. That's better. Negative 43.01 degrees. And let's skip down to the last one in this section, arc cosine. So that means the angle with this cosine value. Basically, they're asking us to find inverse cosine, just another name. So inverse cosine of 0.2814. And the calculator is telling us it's about 73.66. The 6.5 would make us 656 would make us round up to 66 hundredths. 73. Whoa. I've got to slow down here. Sorry about the mess. That's supposed to be 73.66 degrees. So that's not too bad. The next section, they want us to express it in radians. All right. We're just going to ask the calculator to change it to radians. So for this particular model, I just have to go to the DRG key here, degrees, rads, grads, and arrow over to radians, and press Enter. And now on the screen, there is a little RAD in the corner to show that it's rads. Some calculators don't do anything for degrees, but if it's in radians, they'll put a little R there. So how about we do 39? Arc sine, 0.2618. That's the same as the inverse of the sine. I want the angle with this sine value. And it's saying that I didn't do it right. Okay, I'm going to try again. Inverse sine of 0.2618. Enter. I'm coming up with the same thing here. And you know what? I'm not going to give up on myself this time. This is about 0.26 radians. I thought I was wrong because I was thinking degrees. But radians are very large chunks of the circle, so it doesn't take much to make a decent sized angle. How about the last one here, inverse tangent? So literally just type in second tangent, and they tell us on the calculator that is inverse tangent, second function. Type in what they told us. And then hit enter. Now this doesn't seem very big, but that is not -1 degree, that's -1 radian, which would be over 50 degrees. In radians, -1 radian is quite a ways around the circle. To the nearest hundredth, this would be -1.05 radians. And now they want us to try the rest of these without a calculator. So the sine is a half. The sine of our mystery angle is 1/2. I'm hoping you know by now that this 1/2 is the sine value on 30 degrees. Also on 390 degrees and a bunch of other angles. This one says find the angle whose cosine is a half. Well, the angle with a sine value of a half was 30. The angle with a cosine value of a half is 60. Also, -60. You know, this one, the angle whose tangent value is the square root of 3 over 2. Square root of 3 over 3. So if it's got square root of 3 in it, it's either 30 degrees or 60 degrees. And remember, tangent is sine over cosine. They're saying square root of 3 is smaller than whole number 3. So the sine value is smaller, the cosine value is bigger. The y's are smaller, the x is bigger. This would have to be 60 degrees. The angle whose cosine is the square root of 3 over 2. Well, I'm hoping you know by now that's 30 degrees. The angle whose sine value is the square root of 2 over 2. I'm also hoping you know by now that's 45 degrees. The angle whose tangent value is 1. So the tangent of the angle is 1. That means the sine over the cosine is 1. The only way that can happen is if these two are the same, so that must be at 45 degrees. Or, as mentioned in the last video, it could also be 225 degrees. So it's time that we finally started dealing with the fact that for a given trigonometric value, there are going to be multiple possible angles.